Dan Irvin, Executive Director for the Greater Farmington Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to another edition of Business Builders Corner. Joining us first today is Robert Young with the Blue Team Restoration. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
The
it.
Blue Team Restoration. Why don't we start with you telling everybody a little bit about your business and the nature of your business?
Well, we're a fire flood damage restoration company, commercial only. We don't do residential work. We are a full service restoration company, so environmental concerns, mold, asbestos, lead, those are also within our wheelhouse to do, and we're certified for that. And we have offices around the country, and I'm the VP of marketing and business development for the Midwest region.
It does show that you have quite a few locations all through the country, in the East Coast,
Yeah.
Midwest, and in the South.
Yeah.
What led to you starting this business?
We love helping people, period. That's what we do. Our culture is such that we have the relationships with our customers, and our clientele is not where we're trying to reach out to everybody to do their work. We're trying to keep our customer base to a scalable size, because what happens with the restoration industry is everybody's trying to go after all the business everywhere. And with us, because we're a relational company, and our clientele is healthcare facilities, hospital facilities, senior lifestyle facilities, downtown real estate companies, people with portfolios, high rises and such, so hotel chains and restaurant chains. So that's only 4 or 5 of our customers, and that encompasses probably 90% of our business nationwide. Because we only do commercial work, we don't try to go after all the residential work that's out there, so it doesn't spread ourselves too thin.
Okay.
So because of the nature of what we do, we try to take care of our customers, our specific customers. So because we have healthcare facilities, they might have 2,000 healthcare facilities around the country. So our locations are strategically set up so that we can service those customers.
Okay, you seem to have a lot of passion about this and making the customer come first, which is great. How long have you been doing this?
20 years.
20 years. So there's a lot of experience. So if someone needs you, they're not just getting great customer service, they're getting knowledge and know how to get the job done.
That's right. And I started from the ground up too, Dan. It wasn't like I just inherited a business or anything.
Sure.
I started with 1 dehumidifier and 2 air movers, and and I scaled up from there. But I also have my water restoration technician certification and my fire restoration technician certification, my odor control, mold remediation technician certification. So I'm qualified to do it. I'm not just a disconnected owner. I'm on as many jobs as I can possibly be to make sure that the customer is at ease. And the biggest thing that we do for our customers is business continuity, is try to be there for them in the immediacy so that their business continues to run.
So 20 years experience, you've had a lot of highs and lows. What has been your best day in business?
Well, one of them is keeping a church open and operational in their worst time of need. It was a winter storm, and they had these big mature trees, and one of them collapsed from the weight of the ice that was on the branches, and it went right through the center steeple of the church, and it was looming over the pulpit, I guess you would call it.
Okay.
Where the priests and
Sure.
people would conduct their sermons, and was basically about to collapse the roof on top of the congregation. So they had to evacuate. We came in, we were able to remove the tree, temp out the roof so that the structure was secured, and they were able to have their congregation the next day.
That's great.
And so that was really rewarding. They brought us in and thanked us in front of everybody, and it was really warm-hearted. And that's pretty much the essence of what we do, is kind of come in the immediacy, make sure we mitigate the damages, make sure there's no further incidents that's going to occur, and we secure the property so that business can go on.
Now, on the opposite side of that, what are some of the biggest challenges you face on a daily basis?
Wow. Customers that are curious. When we go into properties and commercial properties, we're usually in workspaces. And what happens is we'll set up engineering parameters between the affected and the unaffected area. And because our equipment is monitored 24 hours a day, it's very challenging, because when you have something introduced into the workspace, everybody that works there, because they might be in the office all day long, they see it, so they get curious. So some of the biggest challenges we have are individuals or just curious customers that want to peek in and see what's going on behind the curtain of what we're doing. And we like to keep our containment and all of our work kind of separate so that they can continue work. But it's also, it can impede the process. And sometimes it is challenging when curiosity gets the better of you if you're a customer. So we try to communicate that up front with them, that, hey, we're going to be here. We're injected into people's lives.
Okay.
So we're strangers to most people, except for the ones that are making the decisions to bring us in, that we have agreements with. So when you have 500 or 15,000 employees in a property, and all of a sudden this team is just infiltrates an area, you become you're an outsider. But how do you integrate with them immediately and become a partner or a team member quickly? We try to communicate that with our customers up front. So there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of spending time with each other and get to know it, so that we do a lot of lunch and learns, continuing education.
Okay.
We have a risk assessment team that comes in, so quarterly we'll go in and with our customers, we'll walk the properties and go to the back of the house type stuff and work with their engineering staff and their maintenance department. So they're familiar with us. So when we do show up, you know everybody from security to maintenance to engineering to some of the employees and also ownership. So you become a part of their team as well, and hopefully you can negate some of that breach of our containment and things like that.
So in the nature of your business, you're really helping people that are in an emergency situation get back to normalcy in their life, right? So it'd be a business or a hospital or some other senior care building or something. So other than helping people get back to the way things were before the incident happened, what that's fulfilling. But what really inspires you?
Man, for me, it comes from like my childhood. My dad was a scrap man, and my grandfather before him were scrap men in Detroit. My grandfather was a first-generation immigrant. When I was a child, I used to ride on the scrap truck with him and my dad. Like it was, that was like my after-school activity, and then it became my work as I became old enough to have like the summers off. And most kids were going to summer camp or doing other things. I was riding on a scrap truck in downtown Detroit with my grandpa and dad, and I would see them riding through the city, going from tool and die factory or stamping plant to other places. And my dad and my grandpa had just a very charitable way about them. I think it's because of where they came from, that they came from not much means and very low income, poverty, if you will, from the old country to here, and then they're trying to make their way, and they would see impoverished areas in Detroit, and they would always stop, and they would get like a head count of the kids out on the playground that didn't have mitts. If they were playing baseball, and they'd see 3 kids with mitts and the other 12, are just out there playing with their bare hands, and they would go to the MC Sporting Goods or Dunham's or one of those, sporting goods store, and they would buy mitts and equipment for the kids and bring them. And there was no fanfare, there was no accolades, it was just simply they did it out of the kindness of their heart, and they were helping. And my dad used to always say, there's always somebody out there worse than us. So if you have the opportunity to help, do it. And they just instilled that in me and my brother at a very young age to give back. And I think in a small way, money follows, it doesn't lead. And that's always been our philosophy. We just like to help people. Period. And if you have the ability to do that, how can you do it in a great way? And because I fell into this business, it wasn't like I went out and said, I'm going to get in the restoration business and this is, my dream. I didn't know anything about it. I had my builder's license, and I went and I talked to a family friend who I thought was a builder just to get some mentorship or ideas of what I could expect. It turned out they were in the insurance business, and they started asking me questions about what did I know anything about insurance companies, adjusters, agents? I said, well, I had renter's insurance in college, but I don't know much about it. And then one thing led to another. I got curious about it. It seemed like to be like a niche industry. And my mother had a friend who had a small fire at her home, had a candle that burned on a table and smoked out, a half bathroom and a hallway. And she called me up because it was a recommendation from my mom. And I went out there and I helped her and I held her hand through the process and I worked with the insurance company and I saw like what it did to like restore their faith in humanity and see that somebody was there that cared, that really wanted to get to the end result quickly. And I noticed that if I could just help more people like that, and so it evolved from helping that one person that my mom recommended all the way up to now I'm the source for emergency mitigation and immediate response for the city of Detroit and the surrounding communities, and it's a really prideful thing. And we have offices all over the country where that culture is instilled in them, and so that's sort of my job, is to make sure that everybody that's on our team nationwide and locally has that same philosophical viewpoint. We're aligned with that. So.
All right, Robert, that's a great story. As we wrap up, how can somebody get a hold of you if they want to explore your services or if they need you?
They can call 248-755-5811.
All right, Robert Young with the Blue Restoration Team, thank you so much for being here today.
All right.
And we'll be right back.
All right.
Hello, my name is Dan Irvin, Executive Director for the Greater Farmington Area Chamber of Commerce. We're here today at the Old Detroit Burger Bar, Farmington Hills, to celebrate the grand opening. Mario and his wife Valentina are celebrating their second restaurant opening in Farmington Hills. At this time, I'd like to introduce Barry Brickner, Mayor of Farmington Hills, to say some words on behalf of the city.
Mario, I'd welcome you to Farmington Hills. We invite everybody down here on 8 Mile Road between Orchard Lake and Farmington to have a burger at the Old Detroit Burger Bar. And congratulations.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you to everybody and thank you to the community for supporting us. We're proud to be the residents here of Farmington Hills.
Welcome back. Joining us now is Cheryl McAvoy with Cher Salon and Spa. Welcome.
Thank you, Dan.
And Cheryl, you've been in the community now for 10 years. The Chamber was nice enough and lucky enough to be able to participate in your 10-year celebration.
Yes.
So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Was just this past summer, correct?
Yes.
So you've been in business for 10 years in Farmington Hills.
Yes.
Why did you choose Farmington Hills for your business?
Well, I've always worked in the 8 Mile Farmington area, never strayed away, because if you do stray away, you lose clients. So I just happened to stumble across that vacant building in order to put my salon in it. So I can't say that I was seeking Farmington or Farmington Hills, but it has been a great opportunity. It's been a wonderful thing.
And your salon is located on Farmington Road, just north of 8 Mile on the west side next to the Little Caesars?
Yes.
Awesome. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what services you provide?
Well, we do all hair services, anything from haircuts to chemical straighteners, extensions. We do some aesthetics. We have facials, waxing. I do have a couple on-call aesthetic women and also massage therapists. So we try to cover everything. The only thing we cannot do is nails because we're next to a nail establishment already.
Okay. Now, 10 years in business, and I'm sure your experience goes well beyond the 10 years of owning the business. So how long have you actually been a hairstylist?
Oh, you had to ask me that, right?
Yeah.
29 years.
29 years of doing hair. So when somebody walks into your salon, they know they're going to get good service with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yes, yes.
Okay. What has been your best day in business?
The most memorable day, I think, was the original grand opening because it was big. We had a celebration. I was opening the doors to my new business, so I'd have to say that was probably it.
Okay, now again, celebrating 10 years this past year, so we're on year 11. What do you have planned for the next 10 years?
The next 10 years, ideally, I want a little larger space. I want to be able to do nails. Being that my business has gone through the recession, that was not an opportunity to do it at that time. But eventually, yes, I would like to get a little bit bigger, not crazy big, but be able to do nails too.
Okay, now what are some of the immediate goals you have for the business?
Trying to get new clients always, and actually I need to hire 2 hairdressers. So that would be my immediate goal.
So you're looking for more hairstylists. How many exactly are you trying to target?
2.
2. Now, if they do that, how much longer, if you were successful in that, how much longer will you be behind the chair as a stylist?
You know, it's funny because people ask me that. I love doing hair as much today as I did 30 years ago. I can't see myself not doing hair unless some health reason I couldn't do it. But I don't have a target date, time, year, age.
It's kind of open?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you and your stylists participate in continuing education classes?
Yes, we do.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We one of the beauty suppliers that we have, it's at 7 Mile Newburgh, so it's very local. They have continuing ed classes constantly. A group of us had just gone to a big show in Columbus, Ohio, where you learn multiple techniques. It's over a 3-day period of time. So.
Okay. So how many participate in that with you? Everyone? Do you close the shop?
It varies. It varies
Okay.
what people's schedules are. Sometimes, you know, of 6 out of, you know, the 8, or maybe it's just 3 that went down to Columbus. And
so when you're looking to reach out to the community for 2 solid hairstylists, how do you try to get them? Like, other than just ads in the paper, how do you reach out to them? Where do you look for?
the best thing I have found so far, and I have tried ads, I've tried a number of things, is to keep after our sales reps who visit multiple salons, and just keep them aware that you need a couple hairdressers, so if word gets out there, she knows how to direct them to us.
And one of the most important parts of your business that I know you recognize as is one of the most important parts of your business is your receptionist, because when somebody calls or they walk in, that's the first person they see, and they've got to have that really wow factor. So how do you go about finding the right person for that position?
That's a good question. Usually I have a woman that's, you know, a little bit older. I haven't had any trouble finding them, because that, you know, if you're in your 30s and 40s, you have some good work habits. What I do like to have a young girl, and what I do is I hire a sophomore in high school that will work for me through the end of high school. They will train the next girl as a sophomore in high school. So not only does that get me, you know, fresh every 3 years, it also draws in new clients, their friends, their families. So that's how I've done it, and it's worked out very well.
So what led you to get into this type of business?
The business itself, being a hairdresser, I just always loved it. Before I even thought about going to school, I was cutting people's hair. I loved it.
What's been your biggest challenge in running a business?
That was a difficult question to answer. But I have to say, being that I wasn't, you know, in the business for so long before I started my own, but things have changed so much over the years. Technology, everything's so fast. You have to keep up with social media. So it's much more than just being behind the chair and running your little square building. You know, you have to keep up with things.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the social media? Where can everyone find you?
We're Instagram, Cher_hair, CHER_hair. And then we have a Facebook, Cher Salon and Spa.
What are your hours of operation?
We are open Tuesday through Saturday. Hours kind of vary. Thursday nights are our late nights, but it kind of varies depending on the day.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to mention to the people watching it? What makes your salon and spa special?
The thing that I take pride in is that we're very professional, but we're very friendly. It's a kind of like a family atmosphere. Everybody knows everybody. We'll talk to everybody's clients. It's a very warm atmosphere, and that's just the way how I wanted it to be.
All right, well, Cher, I appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you, Dan.
Check her out at Cher Salon and Spa on Farmington Road, just north of 8 Mile. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Dan Irvin, Executive Director for the Greater Farmington Area Chamber of Commerce. We're here today at Cher Salon, the owner Cheryl, to celebrate 10 years in Farmington Hills in this location. Located just off Farmington Road, just north of 8 Mile.
Want to thank you for being a business in our community for 10 years, and you're doing very well. I can see you have a large staff. It means a lot of people are coming here to get themselves done over in a beautiful way.
Just appreciate all you guys coming out for today, and yeah, I want to be in business another 10 years. So.
And she doesn't use these to cut hair with. This is just real ribbons.
Whenever you're ready, we'll cut the ribbon. Thank you.
Hey! 10 years. 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 10 ye
Yay!
welcome back. Joining us now is Jake Van Meter with Zap Zone of Farmington Hills.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. You guys are located on Grand River, just west of Orchard Lake on the north side of the road.
Correct.
And a lot of people know you for laser tag, because
That's very
what it
true.
is. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the business?
So Zapzone in general has been around for over 20 years. Started out as a laser tag facility in Windsor, Canada, but since then has transitioned over to Michigan with 8 great locations. The biggest location is in Farmington Hills. So everybody thinks Zapzone is purely laser tag, but they're missing out on so many other different attractions in our facility. We do arcade games. We have over 140 arcade game selections in our facility, from first-person shooters to basketball to redemption games. And then we have also 8 awesome attractions in our facility. So Zapzone isn't just laser tag. We have indoor go-karting, we have mini trampolines, we have bumper cars and our cannon blaster and glow golf. So you guys can come down there and experience so many different things that it'll just blow your mind.
Now, one of the things that you just said that kind of piqued my curiosity, because playing laser tag has been something I've done since I was in my teens, and my son is now getting into it. You said that the largest is in Farmington Hills.
That's correct.
So why don't you talk a little bit about that? So what makes it the largest?
So the facility is 45,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
The arena is by far the largest out of the 8 locations as well, toppling just around 8,000 square feet or 10,000 square feet with double floors. So you get to go into this awesome black lit arena with over 60 players, unique players, and you guys get to go up on different floors, move around, work as a team to zap each other. So you can go to other places. They have anywhere from 20 to 40, but if you want a massive experience with 60 players, you can come down to our place.
Wonderful, and that is nice to know too, because people really like that competitiveness, and having more players creates that environment. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the newest and latest attraction that you've added to your facility?
So our latest attraction, we call it Springs. It's Zapzone's version of indoor trampolines. We have 16 unique trampoline pads that people from the ages 5 up can jump on. So you get to jump from all these different trampoline pads, also jump off the wall. So if you want to go around and have this really awesome experience where you guys can jump high off the wall and do whatever you want in the trampoline area, is an awesome experience.
Good. So that's just another piece of the amusement fun.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Is Zap Zone mostly just a place for kids' birthday parties?
No.
No.
A lot of people want to think that because we're a family entertainment center, but the biggest thing out of that is family. We do parties all the way from 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds, all the way up to corporate groups as well.
Okay.
The oldest person that's ever been in there for a birthday party has been 65 for a birthday party, because he absolutely loves laser tag and just had to come to our experience and really understand and have that experience with us.
Now, one of the things I'm going to pull out of that statement too is that you do corporate parties. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
So our corporate parties, we really just started pushing into the corporate world with our parties, and I have a lot of new packages coming out this year. So you guys can stay tuned for a little bit of that in the next month or two.
Okay.
But if you guys want to come out for some corporate laser tag team building, I have that on site. We have a couple different games for you. We do capture the flag, we do VIP, and all these different game types are there to help increase your productivity as a team and just to get to know each other. It's a team building exercise so that you guys can kind of work together as a team and increase.
So with the corporate outings opportunity, there is a banquet center, banquet room in your facility too?
Correct, yes. We have a banquet room that can hold up to 200 people.
Now, Jake, one of the things that I got to know, and you got to tell everybody too, is that we've seen this yellow robot around town, especially at the Founders Festival Parade. Why don't you tell us a little bit about activities with ZZ?
So ZZ, he's our mascot.
Okay.
And he was created 2 years ago, a concept from one of the owners. And what he really does is he goes out around town to different fundraising events and also to school functions to kind of raise interest and awareness of Zap Zone. So if you guys go to different public events during the summer in Farmington, you're definitely going to catch him there.
Okay. Why don't you tell everybody what your hours of operation are?
So our hours of operation during non-break times are Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, it's 1 p.m. to 12 a.m. or midnight. Saturday, it's going to be 10 a.m. to midnight. And Sunday, it's going to be 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Now, Jake, if somebody's interested in getting hold of you, are you available on social media? If so, what outlets of social media are you on?
So if you want to get a hold of us, you can go to our website. It's zap-zone.com. And we are also on Facebook as well. We have a corporate Facebook group, and then we also have our individual store Facebook groups.
Great. Jake, is there anything else that you'd like to tell the people watching the show, what makes your business unique, or anything else that you'd like to discuss?
Our business is generally unique And I even believe in this. I've been there for a very long time, over 8 years. And what makes us unique is that if you want an experience where you can come down to somewhere and do anything you want, from video games to laser tag to go-karting, right in Farmington, right on Orchard Lake and Grand River, we are right there. Anything you want to do, at any time, you come in and we have it for you.
All right, Jake, thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for watching another edition of Business Builders Corner. Please always remember to shop chamber members first. Thank you.